everyone. Welcome again to this new edition of Intégration aux États-Unis. In this channel, we talk about immigration, education, business, and any and everything that goes around integration here in the United States. We share ideas that are going to help you be the better person, the better version of you while living in the United States, how to actually live the American dream. If it's something that you're interested in, please go ahead and subscribe. Click on the like button and then share the video with your contact. You never know who this video is going to help or we need to listen this. So in a previous video, I talked about immigration through the Mexican borders and I kind of explained how dangerous that is. And I would not recommend people to come here through the Mexican border, okay? Just because of you risking your life. So today I'll be talking about the next step, right? So it is true that, you still tell people, okay, don't come here to the Mexican border. And what if they're really their life is in danger wherever they live or in the country that they stay, because most of them, when they get here in the United States, they'll be seeking for asylum because of maybe the religion they believe, their affiliation with some organization, or the political affiliation and stuff like that in their country, and then their life is in danger. They've been tortured and persecuted and jailed because of their belief. People are going to ask me, so how do we do? So this video is going to be divided in two sections. The first section will talk about people that already made it here. So you were lucky enough, you went through the borders and you went to the refugee camp. So when you get to the refugee camp, back in the days, they used to keep people there for a very long time, sometimes 1 month, 2 months. But they realized that it's costing the US government billions of dollars to keep those immigrants in those days. So now they kind of accelerate the process of, either sending you back to your country where you come from, or continue with your case of asylum here in the United States. So this is what is going to happen. So you made it into the border, right? You go to the refugee camp. You're going to start the process step. So you get there, they'll get your information, get your name, where you're coming from, the country, and then why you're here, right? And they'll take away all your belongings, your cell phone, your clothes, and then they'll give you those detainees clothes that you put on. They are going to provide you medical assistance if you're sick. They're going to provide you for food and all the basic needs that you need for the time that you'll be there. Okay. And during that time, you will be allowed to make, I think, 1 phone call a day or a week, something like that. So just to call your relative and let them know what's going on and stuff like that. So after that time, for most people, most people are going to be moved to one of the ICE offices, where they are going to do the credible fear interview, and that's where the real thing start. So what is the credible fear interview? So in this video, we are going to focus more on the credible fear interview, and that's how your asylum case actually start. That interview is an interview that is done to anybody who is getting through the United States, getting to the United States through the border, and is going through the refugee camp. That interview is going to determine if you indeed have an asylum case, right? So you would most likely, those interviews are done through the phone. An immigration officer is going to call you. The interview usually lasts between 45 minutes to 2 hours. and it could go longer than that. So if you do not speak English, you can request for a translator. If you do speak English, you can do the interview by yourself with no translator. So during that interview, they are going to ask questions, and then your answer to those questions is going to determine if you actually have an asylum case. How do you answer those questions? You need to show them that your life is in danger in your country. Why? Why is your life in danger for country? You need to explain that to them. You need to explain event and circumstances that had happened. If you have been tortured, you need to explain to them when, where, and how. If you have been threatened by gun, you need to explain. If you belong to a political party in your country and you've been tortured because of your belief or the party that you need to explain that. At that stage, no supporting evidence is going to be required from you. So it's just an interview, important interview that is going to take place, and it's important for you to answer the question properly without going too much into details, right? So why are you here? I'm here because in my country I was part of this political party, such a name, such and such, and then you can explain that few years ago or a few months ago, because we decided we were not happy by the way that the government were governing and some policies that they decided to implement, and we decided to contest. We organized some meeting, and then we got captured, we got tortured, and then I still have some. I still have some. How you call this? Some stitches from the torture. I was taken into jail. I have the paperwork and stuff like that, and they actually threatened to kill me if I continue to protest against whatever I don't like in my country, right? So they're going to ask you questions and you provide answer. So now, after you have completed that interview with them, right? They are going to review the answer that you provided, right? And then based on those answers, they are going to provide a decision. If they see that you have an asylum case, they will keep you for a couple other days for them to process you. And for them to process you, they need some information. You're going to have to need a sponsor here in America. And then the sponsor is someone who is a US citizen who has an address and will also have a clean background. That sponsor is going to be like your point of contact. That is where they are going to send the notification for you to appear in court with all of the evidence that you provided during that credible fear interview. Okay. And then also, once your interview goes well, they are going to call your sponsor and then let your sponsor know that such and such is going to be sent to your address, and then they're going to ask that sponsor if they are willing to take you. If they say no, then they will ask you to find someone else. If they say yes, then they will say, okay, where do you want us to drop him or her? If you want them to drop them at the airport, basically they are going to drop them either at an airport closest to the IKE office or to a bus station so that they can get on a bus. And then you will be responsible to pay for the flight ticket or the bus ticket. Okay. So they will give you a call. They'll say, okay, we're going to drop him at this location. And then they'll probably give you information on when you do the pay for the air fly or the bus ticket. This is where you will be sending those tickets so that when we drop him or her at the airport, they should be able to get on the plane and get you your address. So that is if everything goes well during that interview. Now, if you get a negative response from a credible fear interview, okay, you have the right to appeal. Okay, you can appeal the decision, and then if you appeal that decision, you're also going to have another interview, and during that interview, they'll ask why you are appealing. You provide more explanation, more details, and stuff like that, right? And then that appeal is going to be in front of a judge, right? So basically, when you appeal, you're saying that I want to be heard by a judge. I want the judge to look at my case and then have the judge make the decision. Okay, so the judge is going to listen to what you have to say, and then based off of that, they'll make a decision, a final decision, and then that decision cannot be appealed. Usually, at that step, if you don't have a lawyer, I highly recommend you to get a lawyer. I highly recommend you. If the credible fear interview got rejected, go ahead and appeal. Always appeal. If you don't appeal, deportation, right? They will not waste time. Deportation right there. So usually when you appeal, request that you need to have your lawyer there with you during that appeal, and then that lawyer will help you better answer the question and will provide you more guidance and information that you need in order for you to be successful at that interview. Okay, so now that, let's say we go back to the first scenario, you are released, and then you go to your family address. So from the time that you get there to the time that you receive the notification or the court day that you're going to uh, the court day where you need to present yourself in front of a judge, an immigration judge, you need to make sure that you gather all the evidences of what you said during the credible fear interview. Okay, so that's where the real thing is going to happen. Okay, so before we even get to that, so when you get to your sponsor place, you can go ahead and apply for a working permit. Nowadays, the working permit lasts for 5 years. So with the working permit, you can get a job, you can apply for social security, you can get a bank account, you can get a driver license, you can get a job, you can work. Okay, and then since the immigration is kind of slow at this time because of the number of cases that they have to handle, it usually takes up to a year or two for your case to even get to the judge. So you have 1, 2, 3 years sometime to gather all those evidence to prepare yourself. And then when you get that notification, court notification, take those documents with you. So if you say you have been jailed, you need to have documentation that shows that you were in jail. If you've been in hospital because you've been tortured, you need to have medical report, right? If anything that can be proven that you mentioned during that interview, you need to bring supportive document, because that immigration officer who was doing the interview was taking note of everything that you said, right? So do not, during that interview, say something that you cannot back up. Do not say something that is going to count against you, right? So only mention things that you have evidence. Okay, so and then make sure that you stick to what you told them during that interview. So do not say during that interview that you got jailed 2 times, and then you come up with evidence that you got jailed only 1 time. What about the other time? Okay, so it must match, right? Whatever you said when you were incarcerated with the immigration must be the same that you would also say when you get in front of an immigration judge. Okay, So during that time or before that time, you can work, you can get a social security number, you can get a driver license, and then you can go on with your normal life, right? And then once you do that, you appeal. I mean, once you go in front of the judge and everything goes well, then you are going to be granted asylum, and then you will receive a green card. Okay, and then now you are legally a permanent resident through asylum here in the United States of America, right? And again, that in the event that it doesn't go well with the judge, you can still appeal the decision, right? And I highly suggest that when you have a case like that, make sure that you seek guidance from an attorney. Please, please do not try to do this on your own. Seek an attorney guidance. It's going to cost you some dollars, but I believe it's worth it. So please share this video with your contact. We don't know, it might help people that are in this situation, and we never know. Okay, so please go ahead and share, like, and subscribe, and then I will catch you in